last week you asked me to explain, so now I thought I'd take the opportunity to do so. So you were asking about a blessing and what it had to do with this story. So you know that a long time ago, the Israelites' habit would be to pass down the birthright to the firstborn. Now, Esau and Jacob, the story doesn't start with them. It starts way back to their grandfather. Let me show you a picture. Just drop it. Anyway, so do you remember the story of a man and his son who went up to the mountain, and the man was going to sacrifice his son? Jehovah told him to sacrifice his son. Do you remember? Abraham. Yes, you're right. So what happened? Jehovah was testing him to see if he had faith, if he had true faith. And he did. Jehovah stopped him from killing his son, but he did prove his faith. So Jehovah was satisfied with Abraham, and he gave him a special blessing. So now Abraham gave that blessing, that birthright, to Isaac, and Isaac had 2 sons, Esau and Jacob. Let me show you. So now do you understand? Esau was born first. So before I start, let's look at a scripture in Genesis 22:17 and 18. So your seed will be as numerous as the stars in heaven and the sands on the sea, and you will take possession of your enemy's gate. And all the nations all over will be blessed by means of your seed. Because you obeyed me. So Jehovah gave a special blessing. What was that blessing? That the seed would come through his family. Right? So he would help save people all over. Who is this? Who do you think the seed was? The seed. Esau? No. The seed was Jesus. So when Jesus showed up, whose family was he supposed to come through? Esau's or Jacob's? Esau's. Yeah, right. But one day something happened. Now you have to understand, Esau was an expert hunter. He would go out all day, and he would come home, and he would be starving. He'd be out doing stuff and very energetic. So at Genesis chapter 25, verse 30, we see what happened one day. Esau asks for some soup because he's starving. And Jacob says, well, first you have to give me your birthright. And Esau says, I'm going to die of starvation. What good is a birthright? So Jacob says, first you have to promise that you'll give it to me. Fine, I promise. Since he is the firstborn, he should receive that birthright, but he gave it to Jacob, and Jacob gave him the soup and some bread, some lentil soup, and he ate it and went on his way. And he didn't regard his birthright as anything. So, can we show? Okay, no we can't. Anyway. So Esau had the birthright, which included Jehovah's blessing that the firstborn would come through his seed. But Esau, how did he feel about that? He thought it was worthless. You're right. And that corresponds to today. When we get blessings from Jehovah, who do we want to imitate? Esau or Jacob? Jacob. You're right. So Jacob felt honored to have that birthright. And if Jesus came through his family line, so when Jehovah blesses us, if we cherish that and we obey him, we will be blessed.